Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dare vs. Mouse game number 2 for your Gosuleague Season 4 inaugural day of group play action. Well, there's only the group play, so I guess you could just say league action. This is game number 2, so spoiler alert for game number 1, but mousesports did take that in rather convincing fashion. We're proceeding very quickly through the draft. It's really not Mouse, though. It is Bamboo +4 stand-in. Czar, just sort of a stand-in for... He's pretty much played for every team in Europe. Armen and Pos coming from uebelest, and Kentsu from Quap Top, the counterpart to Bottom. On the Dare side, it's the new lineup, the Bulgarian lineup. And boy, have they been struggling as of late, and the struggles, well, they continued last game. Is this a new stand-in? I believe it is. It's now J Echo. They had a different one last game, but I'm not sure if the stand-in was really the issue that game. Just overall getting outplayed from the beginning of the draft. And, well, they've given some very powerful carries here. Some great damage dealers away to Mouse. They've given up the Lycan, the Invoker, and the Morphling. The Lycan, for me, is the big problem here to give away. But they get TA, they get Enigma. Enigma, pretty decent to have when you pick up a hero like TA. Frees up a lane so that she can solo mid. You can have a solo in one of the other lanes. Also not a bad hero versus Lycan. Black Hole, of course, going through BKB. Good way to try to keep him down, lock him in place, and pick him up. TA gives you some damage. Enigma gives you some lockdown. The concern is going to be these two heroes can be very squishy. So Dare opting for a little bit more of a balanced lineup right now for Mouse. Heavy on the damage, light on the disables, light on the supports as well. They banned out a lot of good ones, the Rubik and the Chen, the two big ones. There's still plenty of good supports in the pool. Won't be surprised at all to see something like a Shadow Demon to pair up with that Invoker and the Morphling to come out in the second stage of the draft. I wonder what Dare is thinking about. They ran the Morphling last time. Are they thinking about trying to go toe-to-toe with Mouse late game? Last game, it seemed like that's how they wanted to play it. The Morphling was looking towards maybe going for a Lincoln Sphere, but he ended up opting to rush a BKB just because his team needed him to fight, and they go for the Disruptor again. They really feel that this hero is a good way to deal with those escapable carries, the Morphling, the Lycanthrope. And they picked it last game against an Anti-Mage, which can be very powerful. But these heroes, as good as they are at running away, Disruptor can really punish them and bring them back into the fold, force them to team fight. The issue last game was that the supports just ended up so underleveled, so underfarmed, that they just melted almost instantaneously to the enemy Rubik. You'll notice that Mouse were the ones to ban out Rubik, so they're happy to pick it, but they do not want to give it away, even though they used it very well last game. So we won't be seeing any Rubik antics. I am really excited to see who RMN is going to play. I have a feeling it might be, oh boy, we got ourselves a Wisp, which means we got ourselves some crazy aggressive action, hopefully. I wonder who they're going to pair up with the Wisp. And how are they going to lane this? Who goes to the offlane for this team? It's really not clear right now. If it's a 1v1, Invoker or Morphling will be fine in the offlane, but rarely is it a 1v1 in the offlane, so I don't know right now. And they don't really have a good... Maybe they'll do some sort of weird pushing tri-lane with the Lycan and the Wisp +1. Doesn't really make sense to me, but I just don't know how else they could do it.
5 seconds remaining.
None of these heroes are fit to go to the offlane. Maybe they'll just abandon it. They'll have Lycan farming the jungle, Invoker farming mid, Morphling farming the safe lane, and just do a lot of pulling and forfeit that lane. Which wouldn't be a bad way to go, really, because Dare, they don't have the hardest carries. These heroes definitely want some levels in farm, but they're not going to scale super well. And abandoning a lane, maybe stack some Ancients, I suppose. It's an option. I don't know what Mouse has in mind, but we'll find out soon enough what they're thinking. The other thing I should point out is you might be looking at this Mouse lineup and thinking, well, they picked Wisp, but how are they going to combo with the Wisp? They don't have a Chaos Knight, they don't have a Tiny, they don't have a Stealth Assassin or a Riki, as he's also known. They don't have any of these, traditional combo. Whoa, there's your offlane hero. It's a Clockwork, but this is not 6.75 Clockwork. The cogs are not buffed. They do not have that 5-second duration at level 1 with a single skill point into them. The base HP, or the strength gain, is significantly lower. This is a ballsy pick. I don't see him accomplishing anything on the offlane. The Clockwork's got a couple of issues in the offlane. For one, he's a melee hero, so it's difficult for him to farm. And for another, his only escape mechanism is the cogs, which are not really reliable and oftentimes can end up hurting you more than and helping your opponents more than they actually help you escape. Another issue for him is that his only real reliable way to farm is spamming rockets, which has this undesirable effect of pushing out the lane and limiting the amount of experience you can get. So when you run Clockwork in the off lane, normally your team's going to struggle. A little bit of global gank here. We've got the Night Stalker who's semi-global in the sense that he can pretty much be anywhere at any time at the night. Hawkeye on the Prophet. And Nose playing the Templar Assassin, very mobile here. You can set up the traps anywhere on the map and help your team even when you're not there to gank. A very aggressive lineup for Dare. You know, really a more traditional Eastern European kind of style for them, and I gotta say I like it. I think it could work out pretty well. Let's go ahead and introduce the players. Nose, the solo mid last game, he played the Invoker. He'll be going mid again as the Templar Assassin, I assume. Hawkeye, maybe not. Maybe Hawkeye's going mid. Well, let's just introduce the players, then we'll figure out the lanes. Hawkeye, playing the Nature's Prophet, Nowhere on the Night Stalker, Grumpy on the Enigma, and Jay Echo, the stand-in, going to play the Disruptor. It looks like he is going mid, but he's not rushing a bottle. Okay, little interesting there, but not too strange. Armen, who was sensational, and yes, I just said that, on the Rubik last game. He'll be playing the Invoker. The Wisp being handled by Kensu, the stand-in from Quap top. Looks like he's got a pair of wards picked up. Probably going to go to that safe lane. Toss, stand-in number 2, playing the Clockwork. Or sorry, stand-in number 3, I should say, from uebelest, playing the Clockwork. Probably going to the off lane. Early Arena Protection picked up, should build into Arena Basilius, just to give him a little mana regen and armor in that lane. One of Clockwork's many weaknesses is his low base armor. Bamboo handling the Lycanthrope. A little bit of duplication of efforts here. They're going to have 2 Arena Basilius. It's okay, it's not ideal. And Sar finally will be playing the Morph lane. Stand-in number 4 for you. And yes, for anyone who's wondering, this is not 6.75. Those balance changes have not yet been imported into Dota 2. So this is that same old Clockwork who was never picked, never played. Now let's actually think about Clockwork. How does he really match up against this lineup? One thing he does pretty well is deal with Templar Assassin. Battery Assault has a lot of small damage procs, so over time... Oh, look at what they're doing to this Lycan. This is just cruel and unusual. No magic Bush Ward, but then pretty much warding off every other camp. And this ward also has the nice benefit, giving the Dire some vision of this rune. But it's normally not enough. Lycan in this patch can pretty much farm anywhere he wants to. If you could farm the big camps... Oh, does this block both camps? No, okay. It doesn't block either! What the hell? I thought it at least blocked this one. Oh no, that is a big mistake. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, what I was going to point out is that they even tried to block a camp with a Treant. Man, I'm getting totally derailed here. Damn you and your misplaced wards. So they place 2 wards and they block 1 camp. This is suboptimal. A little unfortunate. Can't really farm the Ursas. You can. Not the best micro by Bamboo, but the wolves are about to die, so actually it doesn't really matter. And you can farm the Centaurs, you just can't have both. You don't normally want to have both of your wolves attacking them simultaneously, as then they'll stomp and it's really annoying. Just the stun, pretty significant amount of damage they can do. Bamboo really dropping low. I guess he didn't think these creeps were going to fight him, but they just stand there and maul away. You got claws, we've got big paws. But yeah, the Clockwork pick. He's pretty decent against a hero like TA because of Battery Assault. In the larger scale engagements, you can really remove the refraction quickly. Not bad against Night Stalker. Good at picking off a Prophet in theory. I suppose it sort of counters their global push with the rockets and the Eidolons. Pretty good at mowing down those creep waves. And in this matchup, Clockwork versus Night Stalker, it's not too bad. I still think Night Stalker's the edge even 1v1 because his base armor is 4 points higher. And even his base damage is better as well. The nuke is also more reliable, but nonetheless, Clockwork's going to get some levels, he's going to get some farm, and he should be okay. Instead of really keeping him down, they're choosing to do a lot of pulling, which kind of makes sense when you've got Disruptor, pretty level dependent, as supports go. A rare moment where an Invoker goes to check a rune, but since it's a haste rune, he only misses, what was it, 1 creep for that. Not too shabby. This is game number 2 for anyone who's tuning in. It's a best out of 2 format, so if you win both, you get more points for that. If you tie them, then you only get 1 point. And if you lose, you get 0 points. And if you lose both games. And of course, mousesports, or Bamboo +4, as I've been taken to calling them, they did win the first game. So no matter what, they get at least 1 point out of this match. Yeah, some decent combos as well with the Wisp plus the Clockwork. You can hook in from long range. You can relocate the Wisp on top of that hero, wave form in. And wave is a great way to actually set up your tether. Just drop the wave, then tether to that hero, and it's pretty much a guaranteed tether stun. Hell, almost every movement ability is a guaranteed tether stun. Who am I kidding? But this is not where Pos wants to be. Prophet TP's in. This should be our first blood. See, the cogs actually working against them, they really don't help you when you're trying to survive. At least not against these ranged heroes. And the cogs plus trees equals dead. And Clockwork will fall for that. It's a great time to gank anyway, because look at the lane. Prophet wasn't going to be able to farm this anyway. It's way too dangerous to be all the way out here. Bamboe farming incredibly slowly. Honestly, Lycan should be level 3 at this point. I think fighting that Ursa camp was a big mistake. In fact, it looks like he didn't even finish it before. Now he's going to come back and work on it. And apparently I'm just getting word now that 6.75 plus Magnus is the contents of the new patch. So, color me extremely excited. I was just playing some 6.75 in the form of the new hero, or Zet the Arc Warden, who is a hell of a lot of fun and also really difficult to micro since I don't have any of my keys bound in Dota 1 properly. But it was a blast, man. I cannot wait until that hero gets ported. Sure, he's not going to be in Captain's Mode for a while, but for matchmaking, for public games, will be a lot of fun. Looks like we're just going to give up on the bottom lane. No, now he TP's back as the lane pushes in. But they could look to wave in and then immediately tether to follow up. That's not the correct order to do. The combo in is, oh, you might get the kill anyway with the orbs bouncing through. They will. Generally, I think it's better to wave in first and then tether after the morph. And that way you're guaranteed not to break the tether and the stun will go off. But it's a small quibble, and it is a kill nonetheless. So the bottom lane already becoming a bit of a struggle for the Prophet. But hey, he got something accomplished top. He got the first blood for his team. And Prophet, one of the very best comeback heroes in the game. Bamboe, only level 3. But look at how good these wolves are pushing in the early game. The rockets from afar, providing some artillery support for the push, keeping the momentum going Mouse's way. Now this will not work nearly as well with Lycan and 6.75. The wolves, although they will be even more resistant to magical damage, or their effective HP will be higher, versus I say. Waveform in, and just not getting the tether stun off, unfortunately. But actually, there they go. They're going to find it inside the base. Prophet will go down for that. And the counter push coming top, will they be able to get it in time? Prophet could buy back if they want to push this, but he's up in 5 seconds, so really no need for that. Backstabbing the creep line, just cutting in between it, and now going to look to bring down the tier 2. A tier 2 for a tier 1, I call it a pretty good trade for this lineup. Especially if you look at Mouse's lineup, they want a lot of freedom to move around the map. They would love for enemy heroes to be farming nowhere near tower, all up and down this lane, and eventually up and down the mid lane as well. Without those towers there, it's going to be much easier to catch out solo heroes farming. Tower will get last hit by the Night Stalker. And knows, waiting in the wings with the Invisor, going for the deny. Kenny, no, he's not going to go for it. I think he wants to catch Kensu, or maybe Bamboe would be the better choice, off on his own, but the orb's going to really bring down the refraction quickly, and Lycan's wolves as well could do that too. No backup for him. He's begging his team. I can just imagine the team chat. He's like, somebody come gank with me. And they just want to push. Hawkeye might join him momentarily, though. Look at the pains. There's your trap. Only level 3. Bamboe really under level because of all the pushing he's been doing. And not farming maybe as quickly as he could have those first 3 minutes. But they are going to get a tier 2 top. So they get the kill and they get the tower top. Two tier 1 and tier 2 on opposite sides of the world traded. Overall, I'd give a slight edge to the Radiant for the tower trades because those towers are much more important for Roshan control. But still, a tier 1 and a tier 2 is always going to be pretty decent on either side of the map. Nice thing you can do as Invoker, which we're seeing now from R-Man, is if you want to give your team some levels and some farm, you can actually get the Forge Spirits pretty early and start jungling with them. Especially once you have double Forge Spirits, you can pretty much jungle indefinitely, which frees up a source of experience and farm for your team. Kensu really wants to hit level 6, actually out-leveling Bamboe. Bamboe is going to need to catch up. They cannot have him just standing in lane with this Wisp, splitting experience, and in fact, in comes Nose, and that's an easy kill. No, baby, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. In the end, he will get it. But the tether escape, almost, but not quite sufficient. Grumpy. All of these junglers just a bit under-leveled from all the pushing they've been doing. Only level 5, but doing certainly better than the Lycan. Sunstrike is going to connect, only hitting Grumpy. RMN just already back to his old tricks. In comes Bamboe. The Wolves giving chase. The Wolves going on to TA instead. Not sure that's the correct target choice, but the refraction is actually down. Bamboe gets, or Nose gets hooked. What a hook by Pass. In traffic, just cutting, weaving his way through, finding the hook, already level 6. Normally, if Clockwork is laid against properly, you won't see him getting any levels or farm, but because they push 2 towers early, the downside of this is Clockwork going to get a lot of experience that he otherwise wouldn't. But in comes Nightstalker with the backstab, maybe looking to set up on Kensu. He's probably just going to come back in with another Void. There's your Salve. Nightstalker wants to go for round 2. And then he comes again, focusing Kensu. There is no hook. The hook holding down. Prophet ult bounces through. That's going to pick up Bamboe, who is at the tower, and now nowhere tanking the Wolves. TP in from Prophet. Waveform out from Morphling. Is there a glimpse available? No glimpse. Too low range at level 1. This is generally why you see most Disruptor players like to level up the glimpse earlier on. It does do the range increases dramatically, and the cooldown goes down quite significantly. But he's opted to max out the nuke. A little bit better for pushing, maybe that was the thought process. Just getting Thunderstrike maxed out first. We'll kill those creep waves off a little bit more quickly. But otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to me, because this team is not lacking for damage. They've got Nightstalker's Void, they've got the Prophet ult, and they've got a TA. That pretty much covers your damage department. They really just need a little bit more setup for their team. Zar getting trapped. He's got to start morphing to strength. They could glimpse this back. Is Echo going to look to go? Nope, not in the end. Just buying time for his team while they pick up the Roshan. Aegis onto Nose. In spite of the 2 jungle wards, Bamboe is left unattended, yet here we see him just now hitting level 6. Vlad's picked up, no medallion. And still not quite ready to contribute to team fights. Lycan is a hero, you need a couple of items, and you really need to get a lot of your abilities maxed up before you go. Zar, trapped up in the kinetic field. Bamboe wants to fight, but Black Hold locked in place, and no way to cancel this. Bamboe looks to be going down. He will. The orbs, not enough damage, split between quite a few heroes. Zar, with waveform available, needs to use it. He's getting chain stunned. He's not able to. No wave, and now Kensu next in line. These chaotic fights where heroes start getting picked off. The snowball effect is just so strong for Dare. Perfectly timed earn. Hook in. Not going to be enough. Actually, it will in the end. The Sunstrike not going to connect, though. Paz trying to TP out. Is there a Void? So short. Just needs a little bit more mana. Could have switched to Entrance to get that Void off. A little bit unfortunate there. The ult is popped. RMN TP's back in mid. And that should be the end of our engagement. So, after non-stop back and forth action, again, it's still, let's see, gold-wise, quite even. Experience, a bit of a lead for the Dire on both sides, but really not an overwhelming lead. I feel mousesports has a great comeback potential lineup with the semi-global presence of the Clockwork and then the true global presence of the Wisp, plus the split pushing of the Lycan, even Invoker with the double forward spirits, which looks to be the build for RMN. This lineup can turtle pretty well, and they can split push extremely effectively. It's going to be important for Dare not to get too spread out right now. If they get too spread out, that's where the Wisp combo can really start to hurt them. TA normally thrives in those situations, but I think against this lineup, she's actually better sticking with her team, just providing some additional damage and not being isolated where the Wisp orbs can bring her down quickly. Sentry Ward just trying to do some dewarding here by Jay Echo, and in comes Kensu. The orb slash through. Prophet TPing in, looking to help out his team here, and he's going to catch out Kensu. Kensu's got to be careful. That tether stun is gone. Kensu could retether, but I think he wants to tether back to his team. There's nowhere to run. Nightstalker closes the door, slams it shut in his face, and now Bamboe. What a messy fight, to say the least. Lycan ult is going to be popped. There's no black hole, but Zar goes on the J Echo. This should be a kill. Waving over the top. Going to clean that one up. Prophet ult bouncing through. Only hitting the creeps. Not connecting on Bamboe from the looks of it. And Bamboe wants to buy a TP. Wants to TP out. And he's going to do it absolutely perfectly. Zar doing the dewarding for his team instead. Support Morphling. Now I've seen everything. The push will now come on the bottom lane with Grumpy and his army of Eidolons. Prophet and TPN to join this. I expect Hawkeye to do so momentarily. He's got the Midas. The mech is coming up soon. Really farming effectively this game. Net worth-wise, he's sitting pretty much toe-to-toe with the Night Stalker, leading the charts, and he's about to get even more gold with this tower falling down. Oh, Hawkeye, this could be trouble for you. The hook misses! Oh no! The hook misses! Pass, that's unfortunate. Now 2 TPs in. TP out from the Invoker, just going to escape in time. And Pass as well, and he will get away. But multiple TPs forced there, gotta say overall. mousesports can be pretty happy and really feel lucky that they got out. Look at the number of wards that have been put down. This Dare squad You gotta admire their dedication and not getting ganked and picked off one by one like they did last game. Even though I don't feel the lineup is quite as good this time around for doing it. Once the mech comes online, I feel Derek can continue to group up, pressure towers, especially with the Aegis up on the TA. The Blink Dagger just secured on nose as well. And in a 5-on-5 clash, you've got a Clockwork. He's not really the greatest team fighter. Wisp, more of a ganker, not such a good team fighter. Exhort Invoker, decent team fight abilities, but very long cooldowns on those. And Lycan, he can be effective, but with this kind of farm and these kind of levels, I don't think it's going to be enough. Sunstrike is going to connect him. Grumpy, oh no, just misses, but the Cold Snap is going to hit. The Forge Spirit sprouted up at RMN. A tree prison created for him. And now the Urn goes onto the Wisp. The Wisp going to fall down. Nowhere. Still running. But the Wolves too fast. Even Night Stalkers. No match for those Imba Wolves. Goodness gracious. And now Grumpy in a lot of trouble. Fogging beautifully here though. Jay Echo going to drop the Silence. Static Storm as well as the Thunderstrike. No, didn't use the Static Storm. Now he drops it. Now he catches RMN. That'll be a kill. Mouse really overextending. Bamboe, this is where he'd be drawing some question marks over his face. The team? What you doing? So, after a lot of back and forth, this is the Dire who continue to have the advantage. The Enigma really pulling ahead of Lycan now, already up to level 9. Blink Dagger picked up. Prophet with the Mech, the Midas. The heroes, you know, even the heroes he thought might have had a bad time, that offlane Prophet, has actually had quite a bit of farm, and you know, that's the versatility of Prophet. Unless you run a very strong offlane hero, he's going to find his opening to push that lane, get some early towers, maybe even participate in a couple of kills, get some assist gold. And then he can go farm the jungle. Whereas for the Lycanthrope, the options are a bit more limited. TP out attempted by Posse, will get away. But forced to run, and meanwhile Hawkeye TP's in, the Prophet ult bounces through. Cleared off a bit of creep wave. Czar trying to rush the Ethereal Blade. And I'm not sure how effective it will be this game. Right now there are some delicious targets. TA, normally not a great target because of refraction. Prophet with the mech and the treads already starting to tank up. But there are some squishy ones. The Rubik and the Enigma are probably the two big ones. Night Stalker, there's no way you're killing him with the shotgun. So it will be effective, but I feel that window is going to close pretty soon. Like, especially once the Enigma maybe gets a Vitality booster, even an Ogre Club to work towards that BKB. It's only the Disruptor at that point who's going to be an easy kill. As far as our farming goes, Morphling is leading the way, but Invoker close behind him. Then we have, in terms of farm, overall, Mouse are winning this one from the looks of it. But I guess the thing to be considered here is the Dire are getting better farm distribution, whereas for Mouse, they have a really under-farmed... actually, it's just overall. Overall, the Radiant are just out-farming them. What am I talking about? Nothing doing at the moment. The push comes in mid. The Forge Spirit on Demonic Conversion action. Look at the... Oh, what a combo! The Cold Snap into the orbs. The waveform in. Czar claims 1 kill. Now he wants to get more. Bamboe charges in. Gonna start to munch away on Hawkeye. That is the least threatening Lycan you'll ever see, and he's gonna TP out. Could have hawked for that, but they wanted Nose instead. If they can kill him... Oh, Battery Assault does not hit invisible units. That is unfortunate. And now the blink away from Nose. Able to escape, able to dodge out of that one. The trap gets dropped as well. Now he wants back in. He wants to fight again. The Meteor dropped on basically nothing. Meanwhile, Morphling across the world chasing forever to get that Lycan. And here comes Nose. Back into the fight. Trap gets dropped. Not going to connect when possible. He still chased for this. He will. Diving in really far. RMN. Just the drums up. No Force Staff yet. No Yule Scepter. Now Nose probably going to look to blink on out of there. No, he comes back in. He runs back out. Really just trolling the hell out of me at this point. What the hell is going on in this game? He wanted Zara, I suppose, but that was a very aggressive chase, and now there's the Ghost Scepter up, the tether in from Wisp. Kensu doesn't want to get in too close to that TA, trying to bide his time, keep his distance. RMN now left to his own devices. Morphling will end up leaving this fight. Pos comes in, great cogs, blocking off the Prophet, trapping in the TA, and Pos is going to save his team to a little bit. Will it be enough though? Nose dropping low again. He's gonna have to blink, but no mana this time. He looks to be dead. Or maybe not. He's just gonna walk out of there. Blink in. Black hole by Grumpy catching out 3. Beautiful black hole, but no follow-up whatsoever. And that's gonna be a waste in the end. Grumpy falls 1 by 1. They are getting picked off. They are getting brought down. Do they have detection for him? It looks like they have a Sentry Ward. Wave in. Tether, retether up, not going to be there, but the orbs might do it. Those orbs. Those orbs. Triple kill for the Wisp-a-ball heroes. My goodness, that is something you don't see every day. Mousesports. Uh-oh. Oh, this could be the death of Hawkeye. The 2 Forward Spirit Summon and with Cold Snap. Good luck TPing out. Now he can finally TP, but not going to be in time. He will fall. Nice solo kill by RMN.
They're the last you'll hear.
Bamboe +4, you know, in classic Bamboe form, they have these moments where they get a little over-aggressive, they get a little overconfident. But overall, they're showing some nice resilience, I gotta say. I'm pretty impressed at this point. Still a very even game overall. The one big thing that we're noticing is that, oh, he's got the Ethereal Blade, doesn't he? Just picked it up. Damn you, Sar. Damn it to hell. Causing me to miss a few kills. He might pay for this, though. No TP. In fact, glimpse back into the tower, but the kinetic field dropped elsewhere. Oh, that is some serious miscommunication. Or mistiming there by J Echo. Pretty unfortunate. Now Zar actually turning back around. He wants to go. He wants that kill. He will find it. He's probably going to die, but hell, he got something. Silence, but Morph does work through that. God, is such a good ability. But he's running out of mana. I think he's going to go down. Wave in, but still no TP. Finally fully out of mana. Can pop the wand in 2 seconds. 1 second, but not going to live through this nonetheless. He will fall. Yes, he will. 520 gold bounty. Wisp teleports in, but now this might be a mistake. They might pay for this. Ketsu is dead. Oh, that is the downside to running the Wisp. But it is buying time for Bamboe and the Forge Spirits to work at Roshan.
Decreed your death.
And it looks like Invoker TP'd out of that in the end.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Vanguard picked up on Pass. I gotta say, even having this item at 20 minutes in, playing in that offlane, pretty decent farm for him. I really would like to see Dare. Just, it feels like their teamwork is not quite where they want it to be. You know, for whatever reason, they just don't seem to exactly be on the same page. It was a beautiful black hole by Grumpy. J Echo just slightly off with that the Disruptor combo, but I feel this lineup could easily take a fight with their team fight abilities, with the mechanism. It's just a matter of getting everything chained up properly. Maybe they wait for the next, for their Roshan Aegis to expire, try and pick off the Lycan before they go. But just for whatever reason, just not quite on the same page this game. And if they were, I feel this would have been over already. They're playing so well to start the game off. It's not to say that Mouse have won this game by any means. It is still anyone's game to win. It's just with the kind of start that Dare had, with that first nighttime, they got so many towers, so much map control, had an Aegis up on TA, and then just a few miscommunications. Pulled Mouse right back into this game. Good time to take a look at item progression here. Vlad's Medallion has been up on the Lycanthrope. Phase Boots for Bamboe. We often see Power Treads for the attack speed, the HP, a little bit of damage as well, but Phase Boots not bad by any means for chasing. And Kensu tries to TP out. That is how squishy Wisp is. He almost TP'd away, but actually died even before the TP would have completed. There was a Malefice there anyway, so no chance of escaping. But now the split push for Mouse. Even when the Wisp gets caught out, it's a tower, and honestly a tier 1 for a Wisp kill. Pretty decent trade at this point in the game.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Unfortunately for Nose, he picked up the Blink Dagger, I want to say like 4 or 5 minutes ago. And when you pick up that Blink for TA, there's a big window of opportunity, like 5 to 10 minutes, where you can use that Blink to set up lots of kills around the map. It's just a very difficult lineup to find kills against, though. Morphling is the Ghost, the Ethereal form. He's got Wave, he's got Morph Strength, and he's got Replicate. You're not killing him, so forget about that. Clockwork with the Vanguard, very tanky, not an easy kill by any means. Plus Battery Assault really limits TA's damage potential in practical terms with the constant mini-stun. The Force Staff, as well as Ghostwalk and RMN. Bamboe with the ult. There's just not many easy kills on this team, to be perfectly honest. So I really feel, you know, they need to combo together to find those. Oh, Prophet. This could be Hawkeye down. Not Blackhawk down. Hawkeye down. Or maybe not. The shotgun is going to hit. The orb's doing more damage. The Sunstrike will connect. But the Adaptive Strike just barely living. Oh, man. That was close. That is a really cute combo, though. The Morphling, because the other thing that I didn't mention is that the orbs do 500 damage before reduction if all of them connect on a single hero. And then you amp that up with the Ethereal form, and it's pretty insane burst. Plus the the Invoker on top of it. On paper, this mousesports lineup has some outrageous solo kill potential. Hell, Morphling's enough to get the job done by himself usually. Do they know he's here? Do they know Armin is jungling? Yes, they do. The Void to start, and he's pulled into the kinetic field. Grumpy blinks in. He's got the black hole. Armin stuck, but still surviving. Still alive. No relocate. Unfortunately, not available. And Grumpy probably going to drop here. He's got the black hole, but if Bamboe forces it out on a solo kill, that's definitely worth it. Not going to kill Bamboe either. There's just no follow-up. They're busy chasing Czar. Not sure that's the correct choice. Is able to blink out after casting the black hole. Great little play there by Grumpy. But meanwhile, Nightstalker finally brings down Czar. Hawkeye giving chase to Bamboe, who still has the Quelling Blade. Should be able to tango, he should be okay. Is there Malefice? No mana. Gonna live. It is feeling like Dara just doesn't have enough disables as well. We've seen a lot of times where mousesports either TP out or just run away. They have a couple of good single target disables. I really think a Sight Device has to be the next item of choice for Hawkeye. And it looks like that's where he's headed with this ultimate orb. And the mini stun, the silence from Nightstalker, the Malefice from Enigma, but it's just not, you know, it's nothing like a Burrow Strike. There's no AoE stuns. There's nothing spammable, really. A little bit of action mid. Looks like Bamboe's thinking about pushing things out. 2,500 gold on him. I'm imagining it will be the Necro Bulk, in which case he's almost got it. I think he's about 200 gold short or so. Tether, relocate to the bottom lane. Just to help him farm, I suppose. Meanwhile, mid lane, big dive, hookshot in, beautiful! Bullseye from pass, and that'll be a kill. Glimpse back, but too late. Hawkeye TP's in. Might be next in line. There's a shotgun, doing a lot of damage. Needs to TP out soon. There's no black hole. This is looking like a very bad fight for Dare, but maybe not. They will catch on Armin. That's a Desolator picked up on the TA. And look at her just chewing through that first kill, but not finding the follow-ups. Wants to focus Kensu next. Needs to focus him next. Blink in. The meld. Big damage. One more right click. Kensu goes down, but now Morphling, the refraction is online again. Knows he can regen up through this as long as the refraction lives. It runs out. Now he's done. So it doesn't quite run out, but he was being attacked. It was running out quickly. Now he's going to walk the other way, and maybe actually Bamboe's going to go down here. The ult's on cooldown for 30 seconds. This could be a huge waste of the Aegis. Poss might die as well. Blink in, this Desolator TA, and the medallion used on the TA. That was a mistake. Bamboe's armor even lower, even easier to kill. Aegis down. Can they get another kill on him? I don't think so. The ult should be cooling down soon. There should be backup. In fact, it now knows he might be in the wrong neighborhood. No detection. A battery assault not working on invisible units. This is something I wouldn't mind seeing change, to be honest. Wasn't in the patch. Bamboe taking a lot of damage. That ult cooling down. Sprouted. 2 seconds. Not in time. He will fall down. And now Poss. TP now. Glimpse back in to the silence. I believe. Where is it? He's just not using the static storm. They don't need it. And now they get a couple of kills. They can push mid. They got rid of the Aegis. They killed the Lycan again. Might be able to at least force some buybacks. They should easily get a tier 2. And either go for this tier 2 after that, or more likely threaten the base because the creep wave is just not there. In fact, it's pushing exactly the wrong direction. With that -6 armor on the towers, they just melt, especially with all these summons. Knows wants to go in, but he knows that if he does, it'll be trouble. Icefall is gone, now they charge in. Kensu thinking about it. He's thinking about it, but now the Cold Snap. That Cold Snap Orb combo, just so many cute combos for this team. Not sure how practical they are, but boy, when they connect, they are really aggravating. Armlet for Bamboe. Okay, this is definitely Bamboe Dota now, because this is something, well, just not really a very cost-efficient item compared to Necronomicon on Lycan. A great item for almost every strength carry, but I feel for Lycan, the Necro 3 is just going to do a lot more for you. It's not to say that it's a bad item, though. It still does give you a lot of damage, a lot of extra HP, and he is feeling a bit squishy. Gives you some armor as well, so not decent versus the TA. And now it's time for support Bamboe. He's got all his big items. Picks up a pair of wards. Doesn't want that TA to keep up her meld shenanigans. There's just these moments of non-stop action, aggression for both teams, and then they sit back, they farm. They give us a chance to catch our breath, have a sip of our beers, whatever the case, or gulp rather, depending on how thirsty you are, whatever the case might be. And then we come back for the next round. So the next round of action most likely coming soon. BKB up soon for the TA, and I gotta say, Oh, that's a dead prophet. That's got to be a dead prophet. Stopping to farm for quite a while. There's your tether stun, and that's a kill. The shotgun is here. He's just waiting to try and force out that TP, and that's the kill. Nicely done there. Good combo. And now they can push. They could push mid. Morphling no replicate up. Probably should have replicated the team just to anticipate the 5-man push, but they got the kill, and now you can push up bottom. So not a bad trade. Like an Illusion's going to do a lot to bring this tower down. They do hit quite hard. Actually, no, they don't hit as hard as I thought. Meanwhile, enough about that because Disruptor's dying. Nose is in a bit of trouble as well. But look at the damage with the DD root and the offensive refraction. Charge up the hook, just misses. Oh, he could meld. No, he can't because Bamboe has those sentry wards. And now they might actually win this game. Is there buyback on anyone? I can't believe it. It was just a moment ago and it looked dead even. And who's actually got buyback? Oh no. Oh, that's not good. No buyback on the TA. No buyback on the Prophet. No buyback on the Disruptor. Alacrity onto Bamboe with the armlet available. Just gonna chop his way through that Rex. No, maybe not. Nowhere's actually forcing him back. Runs out of mana though. And I think this last Forward Spirit might be just enough. Maybe one or two more auto attacks from Armen, the hero for this squad, this game, as well as the last one. In fact, because shotgun onto Hawkeye. No, they wanted to trap nowhere. Yule Scepter to set that one up. Could have been a great combo. Shotgun, a drive-by from Morphling. You won't be able to do that in the new patch. Gonna have to wait until the waveform completes to land the combo. One of the many balance changes to him, but they get Rex in the end. They kill off multiple heroes multiple times, and then they get the hell out of there. Great comeback for mousesports all around this game. This could be a big item to get Dare back in the game. A Prophet with the Scythe of Ice can really stall the game out. I mean, anytime you're solo farming, if there's a single other hero besides the Prophet, that's pretty much a guaranteed kill. Despite being down a lane of Rex, I would not say Dare is out of this one by any means. Very even in terms of gold, very even in terms of experience, and it looks like they're about to claim a Roshan. So between that and getting the core items up, the BKB on the Night Stalker, the BKB coming fairly soon on the TA, of course the Scythe of Ice I mentioned. I would love to see a BKB on the Enigma. And that, I mean, most of Mouse's damage, if you really look at it, is coming from the shotgun, as well as the pure damage from the Sunstrike. Just the general nuke damage. They have quite a bit of auto attack, don't get me wrong. They have Morphling, they have Lycan, and they have Exhort Invoker. So they hit pretty hard, but I feel it's mostly the nuke damage that's winning Mouse these fights because they're just instantly assassinating heroes. And it's a +1, +2 situation before Dare even have a chance to get the fight started. So that will change. Sure, Mouse might be able to get kills, but they won't come quite as easily or quite as quickly as they have. And thus the mass BKBs could prove very effective. It also should be mentioned that Morphling has not really progressed in terms of items. Glimpse back, and that should be a kill. Oh, was that a glimpse at the wrong time? I guess it was. Not able to catch out Armen. Hawkeye, Scythe onto Zar, but already strength morphing. Yes, you can strength morph through that. You just can't turn it on. And now Zar might go down. Perfectly placed Static Storm. The Cogs pushing all of Dare into it, unfortunately. Could have been beautiful. And once again, Bamboe locating that Enigma and focusing him down. He would be forced out of Black Hole, except there isn't one right now. In comes the TA again. Decent melt crit, but just not doing quite enough damage. Wants to focus Kensu, trying to drive him away. Bamboe gets trapped. Bamboe might go down here. Does he have buyback? He doesn't. Bamboe's going to fall. That BKB Night Stalker doing too much work, and once you start having to run from this team, well, Wisp is going to teleport the hell out. Where did she even go? Oh, that's where she is. Not where she wanted to be. Jeez. I was so confused there for a second. Zar might die to the urn charge. Dropping to 70. He's silenced. Nowhere now. Nowhere is not where he wants to be. Oh, wait. He's got the BKB. He's got the cheese. Could honestly turn this around. He wants to bait Armen out of the base a little bit and then go. But not able to do so. So they did not use the Aegis. They used the cheese. But the Aegis is really the big thing. And in fact, Armen, 4 staff away, just stalling as best he can.
Thanks.
Does Nos really... He really doesn't want to use this Aegis, does he? He won't get his wish, though. He's gonna have to work a little bit harder. Oh, the rocket. The rocket is what ends the Aegis. Oh, that is so funny. Hey, it's a free trip to Fountain, right? That's not really what you hope for when you're playing a hero like TA. Having the 2 lives on her is so big, because you come back to life, you're probably going to have Refraction ready. You can come out with Meld, and immediately, if they group up around, you find some early kills. And she's the kind of hero that you want to be aggressive on, but you're so squishy, it's hard to do it. The good news is, Nose is still getting pretty close to his BKB. Nothing on the Courier just yet. But he's at least got the Mithril Hammer. Now Bamboe, Malphus. Will this be another solo hero? Black Hole, the Sight Device too late, but sprouted up. He doesn't have that. Oh, he's gonna live. Armlet Toggle, Bamboe. Damn you, Bamboe, Armlet Toggle. Oh, the trap giving vision for the Prophet Ultimate. Oh, there's the teamwork Dare's been looking for. It's just taken them a little while to get in their comfort zone. What a play. That trap, for anyone who doesn't know, the amount of vision it gives you is just infinitesimal. Look at this. This is all the vision you get. It's got to be placed absolutely perfectly. Oh my goodness. What a teamwork. What teamwork there. What play. Sunstrike not going to connect on anything. And the best part for me is that they didn't use the Black Hole. So now if they want to fight, they have Nighttime. They have the BKB on the Night Stalker coming soon. They have a BKB about to be completed on Nose. They have the Sight Device online. And most importantly, they have the BKB Blink Black Hole. It's going to be real hard to win a fight. Without Bamboe, who normally just focuses that Enigma, forces a bad Black Hole. Good luck forcing a bad situation, or catching that Enigma out. Now they're all 5 grouped up. J-Echo's got drums, just a little bit of additional push. And I feel like a yo-yo at this point. Just being bounced up and down, all around. No idea who's going to win this game, but we're having a blast, aren't we?
Radiant structures are fortified.
Tornado connects on 2. Czar, oh, he drops so low to the nuke, damn it! Static Storm to bring him down. Black Hole on 3. And this time Grumpy has the backup, or maybe not, because Bamboe is driving everyone away. Another good Black Hole. I really felt that time they should have grouped up. Focus those heroes down. Doesn't seem to matter. Nowhere dropping low. Bamboe still living. That dog can move. That wolf can book it. And a Sunstrike Yule Scepter hook to lock him in place. And the Sunstrike will connect. Bamboe lives. Bamboe has no TP. Oh, this mouse lineup. You really think when you hit 3 with a Black Hole and your whole team's there, you can win the fight, but Bamboe just drove them all away, and they tried to fight him. They tried to chase him. They're just having these flashes of brilliance, like dropping the trap to give vision for the Prophet ult, but then just not able to be consistent enough, I suppose. Yeah, I see a couple of people asking how that kill happened in the chat. It was the Prophet ult bouncing through and getting the last hit. But the only reason they had vision was because of a trap placed by TA perfectly at the absolute last second while Lycan was running away in haste form. That really does, to me, that deserves to be on the top 10 somewhere. I don't know if you guys agree, but if you do, go submit it, because that was a hell of a play. So let's try and get our bearings as we have another back and forth engagement. Still a slight lead for the Dire, but overall, feeling like a very even game. It is feeling like anyone's game to win. The big thing for me is pretty much everyone in Dare has a BKB now, and the Morphling, the item progression is very lacking. He's had the Ethereal Blade forever. Zara is 11, 6, and 5, but just not farming that well at all. In fact, he's in the middle of the pack. Normally a Morphling at this stage in the game should have way more in terms of farm. I hear a Sunstrike, and that's on J-Echo. I'm trying, you know, whenever a caster hears a Sunstrike, pretty much what we do is we just move the camera around because it gets louder the closer you are to it. So we're just echolocating like we're dolphins or something. So if you're wondering why the camera work is so sloppy there, that's why. It's how we find the Sunstrikes. 4-step in, Yule Scepter. This is that the Wex Exhort combo that a lot of the Eastern European players have been loving. And J-Echo glimpsed back, but it is too late. Not gonna drop the Deafening Blast or the Meteor. Meanwhile, Hawkeye trying to TP out, wait for him, and gets the Tether Stun, and that's Hawkeye going down. Sunstrike as well. That should be a kill. No, he's TP'd away! So close and yet oh so far. Not gonna live in the end. Bottom lane being pushed in. This game, man. You know, normally if I'm casting a game, I want to say like 80% of games, you could predict the winner and you'd be right like 95% of the time. If you have even a decent understanding of Dota, I really could not tell you who's going to win this game, because every time a team has some momentum, they have an advantage. It does feel like the other team just plays a little bit better. The team that's up makes a few mistakes, and they're punished heavily for it. It's just really hard to say at this point. Now, generally, the team that has the Wisp, that has the Lycan, who's up a lane of Rack, should be able to win the game. But there's always the Dire advantage to consider. easier access to the Aegis, the mass BKBs, and no real great counter to them. Clockwork's hook will disable you through BKB, but it's not a long disable. And as we've seen, it's not the most reliable. This is interesting. Assault Cuirass and Arman. Really good item to help you stay alive, and very good against the TA with the Desolator, mitigating the effects of that armor reduction, helping your whole team tank up. The attack speed does pretty well as well, and the minus armor for your own team is not to be underestimated. They're smoked, they want to set something up, and they should be able to find Paz. Paz looks to be very dead. Caught in place by J Echo, the stand-in, and here comes the TP from the other side. Almost gave a way out to Paz was Hawkeye. A hook out there, and he might have lived, or at least forced a long chase. They do get the kill, but now mid lane's pushing in. Bottom lane's pushing in. And the top lane is as well. So they're going to be forced to defend. And when you're down a lane of Rex, this is where it gets frustrating. You find those solo kills, and if your Rex are up, you might be able to get a lane of Rex, or at least get the creeps going your way. But without it, it gets a lot more tricky.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Both teams just continue to farm up. Nobody really committing DD Rune on those, and he's going to get a tower by himself. A lot of gold into his pocket. Still out farming the Morphling. TA has some farming potential. Oh, Kensu. Glimpse back? No glimpse. Very late in the glimpse. Now he glimpses. But just into nose. Actually, it's going to work out beautifully. Is there anywhere for him to tether to? Can he get Vision of a creep? Not able to. Oh, the poor little Wisp. Such a cute, cuddly little spirit. And yet, oh so dead. The orbs actually do give you vision, so if he's able to throw the orbs up at the right moment, he could have tethered to one of these creeps, but just not able to do so. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Hawkeye pushing that lane out. Scythe device up, cold snap onto Araman. Needs to use that Scythe, can't do it! Look at Araman just doing the work here. The Scythe device is too late. Hawkeye should be dead. Deafening blast! Just smashing his way through, and it seems right now like Mouse are just finding the solo kills on the high priority targets. Whereas for the Dare squad, when they get a kill, it's normally on someone who's less important. The Clockwork, the Wisp, they're not killing the Invoker, they're not really killing the Morphling or the Lycan. And yet still, Czar stubbornly unable to find the farm that he would like. Enigma blink away just at the right moment. Nowhere. Reaver picked up on him. Not going for the Ags, not opting for the Vision, not going for any sort of damage item, just wants to tank up as much as possible. Not a bad way to go, but with all this minus armor, the effective HP you get from these raw strength items, this is as much as you might think. Roshan's dropping low. They gotta go now. Not going to, but no, blinks in, not able to steal the Aegis. BKB gets popped. Blink in. Black Hole catches a few. Is there a cold snap? Araman. Oh, what's the BKB used? Yes, it was. So not able to cancel that Black Hole, and Bambo taking some decent damage, but giving back more. Force step in. Absolute chaos hook as well. Just too much damage. Nose on the high ground. Now the cheese gets popped. Yasha up on him, and they're just watching him from the spectator gallery. Force step in from Araman. That's the team wipe, and that's looking like it should be enough. I guess he stole the cheese there. Not able to get his hands on the Aegis, which is what he really wanted. And the beautiful Black Hole, but again, just not finding the follow-up. This team in these later engagements, we're seeing TA. Oh boy. That was almost a hook. Not quite there. And when I said force staff in earlier, I didn't mean to say hook in for anyone who's confused. There was no force staff in at that point in the fight. But, you know, it's one of these things. It happened. So it looks like Mouse are going to take this series, or Bambo +1. No, another hook, just barely missing. He's got an Ags, doesn't he? He's got an Ags. I love Ags on Clockwork. It's such a fun item. The cooldown gets so low. You can just fish all day like a punch hook. Except the range is a lot better. The GGs come out. Dare, the woes continue. Losing the series 0-2 to Bambo +4. Playing under the mousesports banner despite not having much of the roster. But mousesports, they will be your victors for this series. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Game 2 complete. It's in the books. Bambo and his merry band of ragtag players, if you will, they prevail. They're going to take the series 2-0 on your first day of Gosuleague Season 4 play.